Have you ever looked back at your relationships and noticed something that feels almost impossible to explain? The names were different, the faces were different, but somehow, the pain always looked the same. You tell yourself, this time will be different. Then months later, you're left wondering how you ended up with another person who made you feel unseen, unimportant, or emotionally exhausted. At some point, you stop asking, why do I keep meeting the wrong people? And you start asking something much more painful. Is there something wrong with me? But what if the problem isn't your standards, or your luck, or even the people you've dated? What if the real reason has been quietly shaping your choices for years, without you ever realizing it? Because here's the truth. Your heart doesn't always choose who feels safest. It often chooses who feels familiar, and those are rarely the same thing. Think about that for a second. Your brain has one job: to protect you. But it has a strange way of doing it. It doesn't always lead you toward what's healthy. It leads you toward what it already understands, even if what it understands has hurt you before. That's why someone who texts you back consistently can feel almost boring, while someone who disappears for days, then suddenly gives you attention, feels impossible to forget. Most people call that chemistry. Psychologists sometimes call it something else. A familiar emotional pattern. And that pattern often begins long before your first relationship. Imagine a little girl named Maya. When she was growing up, love always felt uncertain. Some days her parents were affectionate. Other days they were distracted, overwhelmed, or emotionally unavailable. Maya never knew which version she would come home to. So without realizing it, her brain learned an important lesson. If I want love, I have to earn it. Years later, Maya meets someone who's charming one day and distant the next. Her friends immediately notice the red flags. He barely replies. He keeps canceling plans. You deserve better. But Maya doesn't feel like she's in danger. She feels excited, because uncertainty feels familiar. This is one of the core ideas behind attachment theory. The way we're loved early in life quietly shapes what feels normal later. If love was unpredictable, predictability can feel unfamiliar. If affection had to be earned, healthy love can almost feel too easy to trust. Here's the heartbreaking irony. Many people spend years looking for someone who will finally choose them, while repeatedly choosing people who make them fight to be chosen. They're searching for peace, using a map that was drawn during survival. And until that map changes, the destination rarely does. But childhood isn't the only reason people stay trapped in the same cycle. Sometimes, even after you recognize every red flag, you still can't walk away. Why? Because your own mind has a way of convincing you that leaving would hurt even more than staying. And that's where the next psychological trap begins. Imagine you've been with someone for 2 years. You've defended them when your friends warned you. You've forgiven promises they never kept. You've convinced yourself that if you're just a little more patient, things will finally change. Then one day, a quiet thought crosses your mind. Maybe this relationship isn't going to get better. So why don't you leave? Because by now, walking away doesn't just mean losing the relationship. It means admitting that all the time, love, and hope you invested might never be returned. This is called cognitive dissonance. It's the uncomfortable feeling that happens when your beliefs and your actions no longer match. Deep down, you know you deserve honesty and respect, but you've already invested so much that your brain starts protecting the relationship instead of protecting you. So you tell yourself, they're just going through a hard time. Nobody's perfect. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Without realizing it, you stop questioning their behavior and start questioning your own worth. Here's the part most people never notice. The longer you stay, the harder your brain works to convince you that staying was the right choice. Sometimes you're no longer fighting for the relationship. You're fighting to prove your pain wasn't wasted. But there's one more pattern that's even harder to recognize, because it doesn't look unhealthy. It looks like kindness. Imagine someone named Olivia. She's always the first to help. She remembers everyone's birthdays. She listens for hours. She forgives quickly. And somehow, she's always the one giving more than she receives. When someone disappoints her, she asks, "What could I have done better?" Instead of asking, "Why am I accepting less than I deserve?" Psychologists often connect this pattern to learned helplessness. When you've spent years believing your needs don't matter, you slowly stop expecting them to be met. You become so focused on keeping other people happy that you forget healthy relationships are supposed to work both ways. Then something remarkable happens when you begin to heal. You stop chasing people who confuse you. You stop trying to earn love that should be freely given. And for the first time, calm no longer feels boring. It feels safe. That's the deeper truth. The people you choose don't just reveal your taste in partners. They reveal the stories your mind still believes about love. Change the story, and you'll begin choosing different people. So here's the real question. When you think about your past relationships, were you choosing the wrong people? Or were your old emotional wounds doing the choosing for you? Because the day you stop confusing familiarity with compatibility is often the day your relationships finally begin to change. If this video helped you see yourself in a new way, subscribe to Psych Mindset for more psychology and relationship insights that help you understand yourself and others a little better. Until next time, remember this: the greatest relationship you'll ever heal isn't with someone else. It's with the version of yourself that still believes love has to be earned.